Hi, my name is Jamie Halkuff. Welcome to my open house for spring 2021. I'm a science teacher where I teach honors biology and honors anatomy. I'm originally from Ohio. I went to college at Bowling Green State University where I majored in secondary life science education. I minored in special education. Moved to South Florida shortly after college, began my teaching career there, taught for 3 years at a high school in Fort Lauderdale, and then found my way to Fuquay-Varina. This is my 18th year teaching, and I'm proud to say that 15 of them have been at Fuquay-Varina High School. I love 80s music, I love karaoke, I love tacos, and most important, I love being a mom to two great kids. I first wanted to give you my remind codes. It depends what class period your student is in, but first period is honors anatomy and physiology. You see the code there, you would just text the phone number 81010 and message that specific code, and that will enroll you in the class so that you get our up-to-date text messages with what's going on. Second and third period are my honors biology courses. I wanted to share with you how grades are earned in my class. You see that classwork amounts for the greatest weight at 50%. So if they're in biology, they're doing something called near pods, where that's where they gain the information. It's essentially like their notes where they're learning, and then they answer questions that go with it. So by them doing their notes, paying attention, and answering those questions, that's going to be the bulk of their grade. And that's really showing up and putting in the effort. You see that labs and tests are weighted at 25% equally. Now, if they are in biology, they'll take an end of course test. So that's a state-made test. However, if they're in anatomy, it's a teacher-made exam, and we allow for senior exemptions. So if your student is in my anatomy class and they are a senior and they make an A, B, or C in the course, they can opt to not take the final exam. I wanted to lay out for you what a typical day looks like for us when we're virtual. The students have 45 minutes of independent work, and that's when I assign something for them to read or watch or to complete, so that when I get them for the second 45 minutes of class and we go live, we're able to discuss and practice what they've learned during their independent time. It also gives them an opportunity to ask me questions. So it's really important that students are doing the independent work so that our live meet is most meaningful. I hope that students are attending their live meet whenever possible. That is the expectation. However, if they're not able to make our live meet, I would really appreciate if they could message me with a heads up so that I can let them know what they missed that day. Now, on test days, we will not meet live. Instead, I give a Google form to the students that they will submit that is going to act as their attendance for that day. I do that because I give students 24 hours to take their test. It opens at midnight and it closes at midnight the same day. So they can take it at whatever time that day suits their schedule best, but I do give them a window to do their attendance because I still have to submit their daily attendance to the office. I wanted to share with you my late work policy. The students know that there is a 10% deduction per day for work submitted late. I really push for kids, especially with tests, that it's not late, that it's taken on the test day, because that prevents us from being able to talk about the test and go over things if I'm still waiting for students to take it. So I am really strict about that when it comes to tests, but the same does hold true for assignments. They need to be doing those on time to not have a penalty for late work on that stuff. Now, while I let them make up their late work, I am firm about once we've closed out a unit and we've taken a test on it and we've moved on to the next unit, I don't allow them to complete their late work then. It's one thing if we're still in the unit, I'm flexible with that and work with them. But when we move on, that work becomes less meaningful. So I do hold firm to that as well. So I wanted to share that with you. So for our classwork, we use Google Classroom as our platform. So I post our unit agenda so students know what they're to be doing every day during their independent time and what to be expecting during their live time. So again, Google Classroom is our platform for our daily work that we do. Their tests, however, we use a different platform called Canvas, and I want to share with you right now what those two things look like. So here is our Google Classroom. This is for biology, and you see that we have topics. So this would be class resources. So if they need to see the syllabus or our lab safety contract or a sample of our daily schedule at school, that's all there for them. But really, what they're looking at, they're working from our units. So Unit 1, you see that I have everything posted in the order in which we completed in, and there are due dates for those items that have a due date attached to them. So right now, we are currently in Unit 2 for biology, chemistry of life. Let me share with you what the pacing calendar looks like. So we began this unit on Thursday, January 28th, and I tell them, hey, during your independent time, I'd like you to do your Nearpod Module 1A, and during our live meet, we're going to do something called Introduction to Biomolecules. On Friday, during their independent time, I want them to do another Nearpod Module 1B, and during our live meet, we're going to do a macromolecules comparison table. So it really is spelled out for them every single day what they should be working on. And I always have posted their test day, so they know on day 1 of the unit what day to expect their test on. So it's the same for anatomy, where I lay it out, independent work and live meet for every day so that there's no confusion there. The last thing I wanted to share with you is Canvas. So this is the platform in which they take their test. So I'll use anatomy for an example here. Your student would have their courses populated there, and it's going to be listed under quizzes. And you see that Unit 1 and Unit 2 are green. That's because they are live for them. These are future tests that they wouldn't see on their screen just yet because they're not published, because we're not there yet. But they would just click on the test, and it tells them they have 90 minutes to complete it, and they would have a start option on their screen. You're seeing the teacher view, and they just click through the questions. So that's kind of the platform on how they would take their test. I hope you found that information useful. If you have any questions at any time, please feel free to text me or send me an email, and we will figure it out. I will get back to you as soon as I can. The school emails are all posted on the school website, but mine is jhalkuff@wcpss.net, and I'd be happy to get back with you. Please feel free to reach out if you ever have any questions or concerns, and I look forward to a great semester with your student.